And we'll observe our traditional moment of silent reflection, followed by the pledge. Thank you very much. Mr. Perkins, would you lead us in the pledge tonight, please?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, it is that time of year. Randy gave me a bottle of water. I much appreciate that. We have our State of the City address this evening. So, here we go.
Who's doing that?
You want to? I'll tell you what, you can read it.
Oh, smarty.
Okay.
You'll pay for that, Robert.
All right, that's fine. Okay. It's only 7 pages, don't worry.
We're not doing a milk moment with Fallon, Mayor?
We just did that.
You first put that?
I don't know.
Because we're napping.
What did you ask, Pam?
Nothing.
If we're going to do the moment of silence.
Nothing.
Those compliments I have about council and everyone.
Step right through it, Pam.
Discriminatory.age.
Don't take a nap before the moment of silence.
They have a motion to approve? All right. Members of City Council, department directors, administration, staff, business owners, and residents of our city of Buckhannon, good evening, and thank you for joining us as we highlight the many projects and accomplishments we've celebrated over the past year together and share the excitement for the future of our city in 2023. I've had the honor and privilege of serving as mayor of my hometown since July 1st of 2020. And although we've shared good times together, we cannot deny that these past few years have posed their own difficulties and challenges. But our community and the wonderful people who call our city of Buckhannon home continue to persevere. 1 year ago, the start of 2022 gave us hope. The worldwide COVID-19 pandemic was beginning to loosen its grip. Businesses, churches, holiday, and social get-togethers were finally gaining the confidence of returning to in-person gatherings, a sense of normal. We welcomed back a full 10-day-long West Virginia Strawberry Festival, and it was a lot of fun. Our city beamed with pride as we finally were able to show off our strawberry spirit for the 50,000+ people who flocked to Buckhannon to enjoy the unofficial kickoff to summer in north central West Virginia. As mayor, I joined the West Virginia Strawberry Festival Board of Directors in 2022, and I am proud to report that under the direction of President Shane Jenkins, our festival organization is in the best shape it's been in many years. We're looking forward to another great festival in 2023. We welcome more new businesses to town, including the Coop, Mountain Chic Boutique, the Bright Side, and Moonflower, all on Main Street. And elsewhere throughout our community, the Outpost, owned by Aaron and Tasha Harris, People's Bank, Shop and Save, CP Imagery, the Tanning Hut, Parmar Stores, Mitsu Japanese Steakhouse, and Sam's Southern Seafood all opened here in 2022. Additionally, several more businesses improved upon their existing footprints or took on major expansions, including the return of Sweet Delicious. Devastated by fire in 2021, Michelle Jack now has a perfect location across the street from Jawbone Park. Citizens Bank of West Virginia purchased Community Bank, and they are remodeling our former fire station at the corner of Main and Locust Streets to add more offices, thus creating more jobs. Community Care of West Virginia purchased and remodeled the former Citizens Bank location and is now open as a full-service clinic. Buffalo Wild Wings and First Community Bank both underwent complete interior renovations, and Windling's Food Service continued to expand, adding more job opportunities, further proving that Upshur County is a great place to live, work, and invest. Though many positives took place, we cannot deny that our community is changing. Nostalgic businesses have closed, some due to retirements and some due to uncontrollable external factors. Thompson's and Miller's Pharmacies, Andrex Jewelers on Main Street, all closed in early 2022. Those three businesses represent a legacy of over 200 years combined of service on Main Street. We wish Doug and Yvonne Stewart, John Miller, and Jake Andreg happy and healthy retirements. speaking of Andrex, though, have you heard the news? Yours truly will be opening up a jewelry store in the same location on Main Street this spring. I'm excited to continue Jake's legacy and to do my part to keep Main Street viable and beautiful. Chris Brake also decided to embark on retirement, which resulted in the closure of Brake's Dairy King. But the Outpost on Brushy Fork Road has many of Brake's favorites offered daily. Finally, the end of 2022 brought additional sadness and statewide outcry with the closure of one of our most well-known local staples, the donut shop. But, hear this, I learned just today that an announcement will be made very soon, possibly as soon as tomorrow, regarding its comeback. Stay tuned. Building on the positive momentum of our business community, we are excited to see the light at the end of the tunnel with our Colonial Theater project. We've made significant progress in 2022 toward the completion of the project, which should open very soon as a fully renovated, state-of-the-art public entertainment space, adding yet another amazing asset to our beautiful downtown. In September, following significant discussion and community conversation, City Council finalized the architectural plans for our new, also state-of-the-art, Stockard Youth and Community Center's new multi-purpose facility. We plan to break ground on this facility later this year. It's been a long time coming, but we're thrilled to be able to offer additional space to our youth to enjoy more recreation. We couldn't have done this without the guidance and leadership of our Stockard Board of Directors, generous donors, and community members. And so we say thank you. I want to now provide some updates from several internal city departments highlighting what has been accomplished and some of the goals that we have looking into the future. First up, City Police Department. Chief Matt Gregory and his officers have completed their first full year, because we were awarded it in July of 21, our first full year of CALIA accreditation. This continues to be a huge honor, and we could not be prouder of our officers and all the hard work and dedication of seeing this process through and continue to maintain its status. The department has been working on bringing back a Citizens Police Academy set to begin on February 7th. This opportunity will be utilized for not only the training of our new VIP volunteers, but also giving the general public a unique perspective into the inner workings of the police department. Classes will meet every Tuesday for 6 weeks. Participants can then attend CERT trainings for additional 4 weeks. In 2022, we hired 3 additional police officers. These young men are now at the West Virginia State Police Academy in Charleston for the next 15 weeks. Following their graduation in the spring, they will be returned to Buckhannon to finish their training with our field training program. Once field training is complete, the police department will finally be back to its fully trained staff, something that hasn't occurred in 6 years. Additionally, the department acquired a use of force simulator and is in the process of fielding its very useful piece of training equipment into training programs and operations. This equipment allows officers more realistic scenario-based training exercises, thus helping them make better decisions and keep the public safer. Fire Department. Chief Kimball and our BFD members had another busy year, responding to a total of 1,218 calls in 22. This is down 75 calls in 21. In those calls, however, firefighters assisted in delivering 3 babies and resuscitated 4 patients through CPR. In March, we were thrilled to receive our brand new custom-built fire engine, Engine 11, from the Sufton Corporation in Columbus, Ohio. This engine cost roughly $750,000 and has proven to be a great asset for the department fleet so far. Like CALIA, at the police department, our fire department continues to work towards CFAI accreditation, that is the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. This is a much slower process than the police department because it is data-driven more so than policy-driven. In December, we received excellent news that our community's ISO rating was reduced from a 4 to a 3. This is a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the best and 10 being the worst. For every level reduced, both residential and commercial property insurance premiums go down, resulting in a savings for property owners. A community ISO rating is calculated after reviewing both the fire and water departments. Also in December, John Brignoli and Tanner Smith passed their exams to be promoted to lieutenants. We extend congratulations to them and thank them for their pursuit to always improve their skills. Sanitation Department. Ethan Croston and his crews have been busy laying the groundwork on our brand new Madison Street green space and parking area. They've added over 200 feet of storm sewer and over 700 feet of main and service lines in order to serve the vendors of fairs and festivals that will take place in the area. I should mention that this project, instead of going through every single one, because every single one has this in it, this project is a city-wide team effort. Our water and street departments are also very involved, coordinating resources and saving money to create a nice addition to downtown. Other projects throughout the city include adding stormwater collection and sewer main upgrades to Shawnee Drive and College Avenue near the corner of Lumber Street. Last summer, our crews worked with West Virginia Wesleyan College to repair a major sinkhole on campus, thus adding a long-term fix to a line that had previously had a catastrophic failure. We purchased a new mini excavator and added 2 more Class 2 operators, and we're working to add 4 more CDL drivers to our sewer department. Water department. Kelly Arnold and his crews have been busy making upgrades all over town. Some of these include the installation of a new domestic and fire service to Battle Green Company on Brushy Fork Road. A new service was installed at the Buckhannon Christian Academy, also on Brushy Fork Road. Crews worked with our fire department members to install new fire service lines on Mudlick Road. This will be the site for our brand new future fire training facility. An 8-inch main line was replaced at the entrance of Sam's Pizza, and I should add that Commissioner Sam Nolte, the owner of Sam's Pizza, was very complimentary of the job well done. We rehabilitated the Tennerton water storage tank using $134,000 of ARPA funds that provides critical fire suppression to Buckhannon Upshur High School. We also relocated an 8-inch line at Riella Lane, lowered a line 6 inches for the sewer department on Shawnee Drive, and installed a 2-inch main to our new greenhouse, and added a 2-inch line on Vicksburg Road to a new residential development. A total of 38 water leaks were repaired, 15 new services were installed, 16 new valves installed, and numerous plant improvements were made, adding to the crucial longevity of our facility on Wood Street. Not fire facility, water facility. Finally, our water rate continues to be one of the lowest in the state, sitting well under 10%, which is fantastic. Street and waste departments. Brad Hawkins and his guys have been working on installing thousands of feet of new ADA-compliant sidewalks on West Main Street, North and South Kanawha Street, North Spring Street, Willard Way, and South Florida Street, shaping the landscape at Madison Street for that project, and widening North Kanawha Street. Several paving projects were completed, including Smithfield, Gum, Lightburn, North Spring, West Lincoln, 2nd, and Latham Streets. Once the sidewalks are completed on South Kanawha Street, the stretch in front of First Community Bank down to the Triangle, that will also be paved. Replacing street signs continues to be a priority, and I got to help on that project. We completed the construction of our new 30 by 130 foot city greenhouse. And I might add that Dixie Green, our city horticulturist, did a fantastic job on the flowers in 2022. Downtown looked as beautiful last year as it ever did. The Waste Collection Department finalized the implementation of the toter cart system, making waste collection safer and more efficient. Jerry and the Waste Collection Board have been working on a comprehensive strategic plan to implement new operational solutions and to increase efficiency and with more automated systems. City engineering. I might want to take a drink before this one. We've all met Jay.
Yeah.
City engineer Jay Holland continues to be one of the organization's busiest bees. When it comes to receiving and administering grant funding, there's no one like Jay. To highlight some of Jay's work, I'll do my best to summarize. Work continues and should be completed prior to June 30th of 23 on the Gateway West project. This is the sidewalk and lighting improvement plan. The estimated cost is about $625,000, of which the city is only responsible for $125,000. Work also continues to be, and it should be completed by June 30th of 23, on the design phase of the Poundstone multi-use trail extension project from Marion and Railroad Avenue to the intersection of Wood and Preston Streets. The estimated cost of this project is $50,000, for which the city is responsible for $10,000. Upon the completion of the design phase and review and the approval of, from the DOH, the construction of the Poundstone multi-use trail extension project will begin. The estimated cost of construction is about $241,000, of which the city is responsible for $48,000. Work continues on the detailed design, which includes the project specifications and drawings of the Stockard Youth Community and Community Center's multi-use facility. We anticipate the contract documents will be completed by late summer, or by late spring or early summer. In the very near future, the Water Department will begin construction on the new water line project along Route 20 south near Stony Run, required for the new Tennerton Booster Station building. That project is being undertaken by ARPA funding, and the cost is about $271,000, of which the city is responsible for $0. Also, in the very near future, the Water Department will begin construction via a contractor on the new Tennerton Booster Station project along Route 20 near the Tractor Supply Complex. The project is being undertaken by ARPA funding as well. The Sewer Department will begin construction on the new sanitary sewer collection system along Taylor Street. The project will be undertaken by ARPA funding. The estimated cost of the project is about $577,000, of which the city is responsible for $0. In the very near future, the Sewer Department will advertise, bid, and begin construction via a contractor on the new sanitary sewer collection system along North Locust Street. The project will be undertaken by ARPA funding. The estimated cost for the project will be about $291,000, of which the city is responsible for $0. Jay does great work. Okay, that ends our director report. In addition to the department heads listed above, Finance and Administration Director Amby Jenkins is truly an invaluable resource to this city. She is in this building before the sun comes up and doesn't leave until long after the sun goes down. And by the way, I'm not talking about winter sunrise and winter sunsets. If it were mid-June, the sun comes up at 6 a.m. It doesn't go down until after 9 p.m. And the same is still true. She has dedicated her life to the betterment of this organization, and we will never be able to thank her enough for all that she's done. City Attorney Tom O'Neill, Stockard Youth Director Deborah Brockleman, Colonial Arts Center Director Ann Wilson, and Building Code Enforcement Officer Vincent Smith all play integral roles of taking our projects from discussion phases to finished products, and we are very fortunate to have all of those folks. As you can see, we've had another busy year, but we wouldn't want it any other way, would we? Our team includes nearly 100 men and women who come to work here every day, all for one goal: to serve this community. To signify our appreciation, Council approved the largest comprehensive pay increases to our employees in the history of our city. Over $700,000 of annual payroll improvements was spread out to each and every single employee. To everyone who works here, we want you to know that you are appreciated for everything you do. We could not do any of this without our employees. Last page. Over the course of this next year, one of our main goals is to comprehensively look at our city parks and make some much needed improvements. We've done a great job developing Jawbone Park and the area around it, but the city park on Park Street and our 5 other parks also need attention. In 2022, the city's first ever Parks and Recreation Board was created by ordinance, and the members of that board are set to have their first meeting next week. I am confident that this energetic group will help us to realize the goals of improving all of our parks. Council, as we work on our 2023 and 2024 budgets, I'm asking that we consider an allocation of funds to support the efforts and the suggestions of our board and committee members toward improving our parks and facilities. Finally tonight, I'm proud to say, and I want to say to my colleagues on City Council, that each and every one of you bring a wealth of knowledge and a unique perspective to this table. I appreciate your friendship, your guidance, discussions, and even our disagreements. Our community is a better place because of the conversations that we have here and the diverse opinions and backgrounds that guide us forward. And so, to the citizens and business owners of our wonderful community, I am proud to report to you tonight that the state of our city is strong. We are well positioned for the future, and I am confident that we will continue to be one of America's best small towns. It is truly my honor to serve my hometown, the city of Buckhannon, as your mayor. And I cannot thank you enough for your support, love, encouragement, guidance, advice, and prayers, most importantly. So let's bring on 2023. May God continue to bless our city of Buckhannon, state of West Virginia, and the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you. I sent Randy that electronically so he wouldn't have to write it all down. So, all right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much for indulging me in that annual exercise. At this time, I would like to open the floor if there are any guests that wish to be recognized this evening. If there are none, we will consider the portion of recognized guests and public comment closed. We will proceed to our department and board reports. First up is Mr. Jerry Arnold.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Jerry. Hi, Jerry.
Conducted our first Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration entry-level driver training orientation on Tuesday. And as the mayor alluded in his report, there's 4 from the sewer department, but we have a total of 12 in this first class that we're conducting. Again, there'll be another class. I've talked with Chief Kimball, and he's wanting all his firemen that drive those trucks to, which is commendable, to have a commercial driver's license. So they'll be, we'll be doing another class midsummer for the fire department. Also, I'll be assisting in the raising of the structures on Victoria Street next week for the Board of Education, which there's a request going down in the packet on that. I'm also working on configuring the setup of our new telematics system on our fleet vehicles. Received 2 quotes on the fence along Florida Street. I'm going to be comparing the materials, going over those specifications. We will be meeting with the West Virginia DOH next Wednesday to discuss their plans to replace the storm sewer on Marion Street. We just got confirmation of that. Again, they are partnering with us on replacing storm sewer on Amelia Drive. I think I reported at the last meeting. Street Department, Travis Carpenter and I have begun the work on the electric service at Madison Street. Under Sewer Department, the sewer component of Shawnee project has been completed. The crews are investigating the infiltration on the sewer installed on the former J.F. Allen property. They replaced a drop inlet on Railroad Avenue, and will be constructing a section of new storm sewer at Amelia Drive, as I just said, as part of the Gateway West project. Water, they've been repairing damage incurred during the freezing weather the first of the month. Waste, as the mayor said, I'm continuing to work on the comprehensive plan for waste collection operations. Under engineering, just an update on the Poundstone River Walk. Jay's continuing to work on that design. He did have a kickoff meeting on December 1st, and they're going to allow engineering design money to be used to survey the exact location of Railroad Avenue right away. It's a little blurry in that section with property lines, so we just want to verify our rights of way there. Jay also reviewed and corrected the RFP for the theater seating for the Colonial Arts Center. And again, that's on down in your packet as well, under consideration. That's all I have, Mayor, unless there are questions for me.
Jerry, is there anyone working on the extension beyond the 1,000-foot that you're adding to try to connect this to the high school or the middle school with the trail?
We have submitted for an additional grant for
engineering,
rights of way and property acquisition. We've identified, of course, we had a grant submission year before last, I believe it was, CJ, that we didn't get funded, but we went ahead and resubmitted again for that very same thing. And again, we identified all the property owners. When Callie was here, we did that under that abandoned mines grant project, if you remember.
yes.
So all the property owners were identified. the layout, kind of a preliminary layout of where the trail would go. Again, there's some wetlands, so there may be a variable here and there. But we have applied for another grant for acquisition and design.
Oh, great, that would be a big, big boost.
It gets difficult, but it's not impossible.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of where we're at. But yes, that's been looked at all the way, actually to the Sago boat ramp, or to the Hampton boat ramp.
Hey, let's keep pushing, you know, keep
Yes,
moving
sir.
it forward.
Yes, sir.
Jerry, I'm not sure if we addressed this at the last meeting, but the wall has been placed in front of Colonial Arts Center.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to just, for the public's knowledge, let them know what's going on behind that wall. Yeah, that's a secret. We're
Yeah,
gonna
it's a-
unveil it.
We built a wall and made Weston pay
Yes.
for it.
That's exactly, that's it in a nutshell.
Public wall, yeah.
First of all, I will say,
Marquee.
because I did have a question,
Ceramic tile, yeah.
a lady who works with assisted living said that she had a question from some folks at the high-rise that they couldn't get up the sidewalk on that side of the street. And I told her, yes, that was possible. We actually built it's a 4-foot, which is a regulation ADA sidewalk around that wall. With contractor built a platform off the curb that allows access for a wheelchair around the construction there. And then we put the concrete barricades out for pedestrian safety and eliminated one parking space there for now. What's going on behind the wall? Of course, with the weather, we are wanting to continue to work, our contractor, on the facade of the building. Well, with lane tile, anybody that's familiar with lane tile, it's not conducive whenever we have freezing temperatures to be able to apply that tile to the wall. So that wall is a temporary construction wall to allow them to continue to work on the facade through the winter and have a grand unveiling, as it were, in the spring of the actual facade of the building. Also, it gives, as Randy said, it gives a little bit of mystery to what the finished product of the outside is. It's an unveiling. As for the structures, the marquee structures, the box structures coming down, they had to be down to have the roof completed on the marquee. So I will say that the decking has been replaced on that marquee structure, and we'll be reinstalling the marquee boxes, the light boxes, on Monday, and then our roofing contractor will come in and do the final roofing product after that. So that's what's happening with the walls on Main Street, Randy. Again, they should disappear March, April kind of time frame.
Great, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions or comments for Jerry? Jerry, do you want to talk about a couple of the line items you have under strategic, since you mentioned that you touched them?
That is entirely up to you if you want to bring them forward. Again, that's what I told Amby before the meeting. I think they're all me and hers.
Well, we've got Jeff here, so let's go
Yes.
ahead and just talk about them, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So F1, I'll invoke Chair's prerogative to bring to the table, and that is the approval / the authorization to attend auction and bid on items for the SYCC and CAC, and you see it up on screen.
Just an overview of that. Council Lady Bucklew, which is still hard for me to get in my head.
Jerry, this is page 6. You said they were on page 6.
It was on 5 or 6, Randy.
Okay.
There's several items there.
Had brought to Amby's attention, she shared it with everybody else, and long story short, there's a lot of items at this Peterstown Middle School that could be used both in the CAC and the Stockard multi-use building. So the ask is that we be authorized to attend the auction and bid on items. Also, Jay Holland and myself have a meeting with the auction company tomorrow to actually go and view the items. Jay has put together a spreadsheet of the wants from both Deborah and Ann, And we will be looking particularly at those items tomorrow when we go to Peterstown.
So you're physically going to Peterstown tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is that the correct photo?
Yes, sir. That's the photo of, that's the one that is really the one we wanted to go view is the bleachers. And again, we have spoke with Michael Mills and asked, you know, is this going to fit in with what we're doing? Of course, the color's correct, but as you can see, they look like they're in very good shape. My understanding from information I've gotten that there's been major upgrades done to that school in the last 5 or 6 years. And I think if you view, one of the things that stood out to us was, if you look at even the kitchen equipment, I mean, it is just, it is top-notch material. So I think that it would behoove us to at least take a look at it. And it's an opportunity, I think, for council to be able to save quite a bit of money if we're able to procure some of these items.
It's always a good idea to establish your top price before you go to an auction, because you can get caught up in the moment.
Absolutely.
Beat the price.
Yes, sir.
Well, not me. Just, you know. And these are probably modular, so if you could, you know, you could take the section off and make it fit.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But again, that's gonna be something that we wanna do is physically put eyes on it, see what kind of, because again, we were talking a little bit with Councilman Rager before the meeting, and, you know, we wanna see what the wear is on the actual mechanical, components where they've been, pulled out, pushed back. You know, there's a lot of wear, it's kinda like a recliner. You know, there's a lot of wear on the mechanisms of them, so we want to look at that, measure them, go through that whole process, and then, you know, I think that it would benefit us really to get a price on new bleachers, and then establish that. What are we looking at? See,
Yeah,
okay,
what are
what's
you
our
gonna pay if you don't get
high
this?
bid? What's our high bid?
Yeah.
So again, it's going to be kind of you know, not everybody in the public's going to bid on bleachers, but you know, I
What's
can
it
see.
bid now? What does it say there? Does it say
160.
Yes.
That's the starting.
160?
It's a starting.
Yeah, I'll buy
Starting bid.
it. $60.
There's several other items that we're looking at too. We have classrooms in the Colonial downstairs that we need some chairs and tables, and they all looked in good condition too. There's just several items there that would save us a lot of money.
Hey, CJ, looks like
There
there's
you
some
go.
good stuff there. You may
Yeah,
want to go.
you may want to ride over there.
Yes.
I would not buy refrigeration. But
Jerry, when's the deadline for the bids on this?
I'm not sure, Pam. It should be on
Start
that.
bidding in February, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was a February.
just open to the public?
Yes,
Yes.
it's registered to bid. Yes, sir.
There you go, CJ.
All right.
I don't need any.
Anything else, Jerry?
Just the idea.
That's all I have unless there's questions on the ask to be able to bid on this. And again, you know, I think we have to do some research before we can ask council to give us a maximum
Yeah,
bid price.
do you have a budget? I mean, what you want to spend? Or, I mean, we can approve you going there, but I think we gotta have some idea
Well,
what.
is the auction actually tomorrow?
No.
No,
No, you're just, you're
Going to-
looking.
We're
just
just
going to
going,
look.
we're doing reconnaissance tomorrow, Randy, and
Okay.
then we'll,
All right, so you'll
like I
report
said,
back.
we're going to report back.
What is
as
the
far
auction?
as-
The auction is ongoing.
Yes.
The auction is online.
Yes, it's an online
When
auction.
does it end?
I'm not sure, Randy.
February, I think it says right on that front page, but it's in
Yes.
February.
When we replaced the bleachers at Buckhannon High School on the home side, after the insurance issue with the water break, the bleachers just on the one side, if I recall, was $280,000. So if we can cure these through the auction, it's going to be a significant savings.
Mhm.
New bleachers, I mean, cost of materials now, transportation, installation.
It's one of
It's
those
gonna be a
things,
significant-
it's kind of hard to throw your high bid out there too in public.
Yeah.
I would encourage us to act on establishing a max ceiling in executive session, as is permitted by state law.
I agree
This
with
is a
that.
property matter, and if you have potential competitors out there that aren't public entities, they're taking notes on whatever may be discussed relative to a ceiling.
Yes, sir, that's where I was going
And you can take action in an executive session on a property matter. So that, Mayor Skinner, I'd suggest that if we have a little time to consider this between now and February 2, why don't we sharpen the pencils and look at what we have to spend and let Amby weigh in on that?
And they need approval to go tomorrow.
Yes, it's an item on the agenda to approve authorization to attend auction and bid on items for Stockard Youth Community Center and Colonial Arts Center.
I'll move to approve that.
Second.
What are we approving? Are we approving the
Attendance.
attendance? Okay,
Attendance,
all
and
right.
then we'll-
Not
in
the bid.
executive session, we'll
All right,
privately
that's
give
fine.
them a maximum bid.
That's fine, just want to clarify. All right, motion by Thomas, second by, or motion by Wyland, second by
CJ.
Thomas. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Make sure that you go to Peterstown, not Petersburg. You know the difference.
Yeah.
One's in Monroe County. This one's in Monroe County. That's not Grant County. So,
Have a safe trip.
to. So that is 3 hours, one way,
yeah,
in a truck with Jay Hall.
it's,
Just
CJ, you want to go?
All right, moving on.
moving on to get a raise.
Something to do.
Trying to get a
3 hours in any vehicle would do me.
Should we infer from that that you're not bringing him back?
You did say one way.
That's right.
All right, F1's taken care of. F2 is what we have Mr. Perkins here for as well. And it is an approval of a letter of request from the Upshur County Board of Education for assistance in the demolition at 11 East Victoria Street. If you'll recall, we have approved the demolition of 9 East Victoria Street. It would be my recommendation that we go ahead and assist with 11 East Victoria Street, which is right next door, also a property that they have acquired, and that would just clean up that corner there across from Mike Sharpaliski, where you turn in to go to the bus loop of the Academy School. Did I about summarize that?
Pretty much did, yes.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion, who
Oh,
seconded
whoa,
that?
whoa, let me get my pen in my hand. Motion by McCauley, second by Ryan.
That's right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right.
Did you have anything
I had
to,
a question.
Okay.
Good.
you're good? You don't want to mess it up. You don't want to mess it up.
Wait, we got questions.
It's good. 11 Victoria has been cleared for asbestos and lead and all that good stuff.
Yes, sir,
Yes.
all the permits have been
Yep.
procured.
Okay.
It has been
But you
cleared.
still have my yay vote.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, that's good. I already wrote it down.
Yeah, Mayor, I drafted a letter agreement,
Yeah.
in the event it would go this way, so that, I think, maybe confirm that this vote was also a vote to authorize entering into that agreement to put into effect
Mr. McCauley, Mr. Rollins,
Yes, I would amend the motion
All
to
right.
include
Okay.
the execution of the letter.
it will be done.
Okay. All right, and then finally, F3 is the approval of bid solicitation seating for the Colonial Arts Theater, which we just talked about that up there on the screen, but
No, different one.
this is upstairs.
This is different.
This
This is
is
totally
this is actually seating for the main auditorium and
Okay.
the balcony
Okay.
of the CAC. So this
All right.
is solicited bids.
Oh, that's right, we were at Stockard. Now, Pam, I'm getting as bad as you.
And I just for council, or for clarification to council, in my report, I misspoke. We will not be going to raise the structures next week, it's the following week.
Okay.
I think there's some fire training, and then we'll be in there the last week of the month to raise those structures on East Victoria Street.
Okay, so let's talk about Colonial Arts Center.
Yes, sir. There is did you include that, Amby? Did you put a copy of that
Yeah, they have
preliminary?
a copy.
Okay. You should have a copy of the preliminary, and again, the RFP,
Towards the back.
yeah, it's towards the back end instead of your packet. The RFP is in
Yeah, all the way to the
your
back.
packet, and Jay has been working on that again. Some of the documents have a theme on it that has to be changed because he's used previous bid documents and just has to change the captions, but wanted to get something in front of you so that we could have a discussion about getting this in advertising again. If council's good with moving forward on this RFP, we could get it in for advertising the 24th, I believe, is the date on that. If not, we will have to postpone it till the meeting on the 2nd. And with that, the seating has, the seating that's been discussed, and again, it's in your packet, for the main auditorium is motorized retractable seating. And for the balcony section, it is the fold-down theater type style chairs.
We had a pretty extensive presentation by Ann Wilson on this at the council members.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is just agreeing to set it out to bid?
This is,
Yes.
yes, this is to solicit for proposals for
I move
providing
we
seating.
approve that.
Second.
No, you go on.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do, Jerry.
Boom, we're all done.
All right,
Yeah.
Jeff. Okay, we will go back up
Well,
the agenda. Have a good weekend, Jeff.
Thank you.
We'll go back up the agenda to pick up Ann Barrel, who has some money news for us.
Well, yes.
I guess there goes my raise.
your name tag.
That's right.
I already wrote that in the minutes too.
So now we just need to, just slightly below 700,000.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Okay, balances in your enterprise funds, December 31st, Waste Collection Board, money market, $1,309,000. Their CD and savings remain at $58,000, and plus they have the letter of credit for $64,000. Water Board money market and checking $847,000, and they have the working capital and savings accounts at $874,000. Sanitary Board money market and checking $926,000, working capital $459,000. Stormwater Fund $208,000. I really don't have a lot to report on, but I did want to begin begin reporting to you. We have the Colonial Art Center now that's beginning to have a little more activity, and Stockard usually doesn't get a report here, so I think I'm going to trade off, and it's okay with you. I'll report one each month. I'll do Stockard next meeting.
One each meeting.
One each meeting,
Per
yeah.
meeting, yeah.
So Jerry mentioned to you that the marquee is being removed and replaced, repaired mostly, that it's actually the same marquee, it's just coming back as the same marquee, only in better condition. And that'll be there for a few months. The grand opening of the CAC is set for April the 15th. In the meantime, Ann and the arts facilitator, Jacob Spruce, have been really hard at work getting some things ready for the facility when it's in full force to work. So after on the April 15th grand opening, then April 20th through the 22nd, the Board of Education Arts Facilitator reported that the BU Middle School Thespians will perform a play called Cowgirls That Don't Ride Zebras, and it's going to be held at the CAC. April 29th, 28th or the 29th, the West Virginia Dance Company will be performing at the Colonial Theater as well. They've offered to come back and do a presentation there in the theater. May the 4th through the 7th, the Buckhannon Community Theater will perform Red Velvet Cake Wars in the Colonial Theater. In May, the Strawberry Festival Association has requested to use the facility for the Strawberry Idol Contest. And then in July, 17th through the 23rd, the Walmsby Host Committee has asked to use the gallery in the main hall during the event. They're also, the Colonial Manager and Art Facilitator is also working to perform, to schedule and plan summer camp activities in the basement. There's classrooms down there, and they're planning for that now. They have had some tours of the facility through groups that are potential donors, and they wanted to look at the facility, and they've done that. Okay, then on to a couple other things. The bills in your packet to be approved. We had expensed this, last time we did AP, the second half of the final allotments for the Upshur County Development Authority. That was $20,000. The Health Department, $2,500. Country Roads Transit, $7,500, and the BU Airport, $7,500. So those were entities that was already budgeted for, and we've given them their final expense. We had Take Communications, $9,300 for phone system at the CAC. Roselle Enterprises, $23,000 for work at the theater. Michael Ash, $5,800 for FEMA generator pre-construction elevation certificates. That was for 6 elevation certificates. We transferred $50,000 as per budget into the stormwater account. Bruffy Trucking, $20,000 for stone at the Madison Street project. $2,600 for the Florida Street project for Bruffy Trucking. Then RDR Energies, $4,900 for the concrete that went to the Florida Street project, and $4,900 that went to the Gateway West project. JC Construction, we paid $1,950. That was a quarter of the cost for a used lowboy trailer that Jerry found to haul heavy equipment on. So that's a good price, and he said it was in very good condition. Much cheaper than a new one. Argos Gas, $3,700 for 21, I'm sorry, it's Argos USA, for 21 tons of bulk cement supplies so we can batch our own concrete. And then iWise was the final payment of $5,200. The curtains for the CAC was delivered, and we have those in boxes at the theater. One more thing, the audit procurement committee finished their process, and David Howe CPA organization will receive the bid for the audit of the city budget for the year ending 6/30/22 and 6/30/23. We've solicited several entities, but a lot of ARPA money out there. Many of them are booked to book to even bid, so we have that. And that's it.
What's the state? At one point, we were going to have a full-time person from the school district, school board.
That's the arts facilitator, the VOE
Arts
are
facilitator?
paying. Yeah, that's.
So our collaboration with the school district or school board is still
Yes.
moving forward?
Yes, he's been working with Ann up there, and they've been,
He also attends our Colonial Theater board meetings,
Yep.
so.
And then that'd be next semester, I guess, in the fall semester?
I'm not sure how long that contract is for.
Well, I mean, the kids will start coming and
Oh.
utilize it.
Oh, yeah, they are already doing some programs with them in the school, because the theater isn't ready for them, but they're going to start in April.
Great.
Okay, any other questions for Andy? Oh, but our sales tax figure for last
I
quarter.
was gonna report that.
You know me, I'm excited about it. $547,000 we received, so we are doing very well in sales tax. So
And Abby, did you enclose all the quarters, what the amounts were?
I didn't give you all the quarters with this meeting. I was gonna do it when I do the general fund.
Okay,
Yeah, next meeting.
that'd be great.
Yep, so you'll know what you've received every quarter since we've
we're
started
doing
receiving
much-
sales tax. Pardon?
We're doing much better than we estimated, right?
yes, we estimated about 1.2, we're pushing 2.2, between 2.1 and 2.2.
I think the 547 was the highest we've ever received, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it was.
as compared to Weston receiving about 140,000 and Elkins receiving about 290 to 300,000. So good news.
Pretty nice.
It is nice. Okay, up next is Police Chief Matt Gregory.
Hello, Matt.
Good
Hey,
evening.
Matt.
Well, Matt?
Just a few things to update council on tonight. As was stated earlier, our newest officers, Wade Loudon, Jonathan Warner, and Dylan Major, all three began police academy training on Monday. They will attend this training at the State Police Academy over the course of the next 15 weeks, where we anticipate them to graduate on April 28th. At that time, they will return back to Buckhannon and continue with their field training, at which time we will anticipate that to conclude sometime in mid-May, where they will be ready to work on their own. Big thank you to Joey and Maria and the folks at the fire department for working with each of these officers over the past several weeks to get them ready for the police academy training. It was a major help. The police department will be hosting 2 interns this spring semester. The interns' names are Madison Chisholm and Caden Rohrbaugh. Both are senior criminal justice students at West Virginia Wesleyan College. They'll be shadowing officers throughout the spring term and learning more about police work. Also, as stated earlier, the police department will be hosting a Citizens Police Academy. This is the first chance we've had to do this for 2 or 3 years now. We began actually hosting Citizens Police Academies, even though we used them for recruiting and training our VIPS volunteers. The Citizens Academy actually long predates the VIPS program. VIPS program has been around since 2014. We began the Citizens Academies in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's been a very successful program. We have them periodically every couple of years or so over the years, and really gives folks a unique opportunity to get an inside look at law enforcement and the Buckhannon Police Department specifically. As I stated, even though we use it for training and recruiting of VIPS volunteers, we don't limit it to just that. We open this training and this opportunity up to anybody that's interested in the community. I did include in your packet the brochure for the program. It goes into a little more detail in terms of what each week is going to look like. The academy itself meets once a week over the course of 6 weeks. Tuesday evening will be the evening that it meets, beginning at 6 p.m. They meet for about 2.5 hours each week. The academy itself is free of charge to anybody that wants to participate. Some of the things that we look at in the academy, as I stated earlier, we take an inside look at the police department, particularly our CALEA operations and introduction into how we integrate with a CALEA accreditation. We also offer self-defense to the participants. We look at the various weapons and equipment that is utilized by the police department. We discuss investigation principles and allow the participants to partake in a mock crime scene, as well as various other demonstrations. Our K9 will give a demonstration on the various aspects of the K9 operations, and we'll also allow our participants to go through the use of force simulator training, just so they can get an inside look at some of the training programs and some of the initiatives that officers undergo to better prepare themselves to stay safe and to keep the public safe. Again, this is a unique opportunity for folks to attend. It is a 6-week class, at which time CERT training will be offered at the conclusion of the Citizens Academy training that will last 4 weeks, that will take us into mid-April. The biggest takeaway that I've always seen with this, not only is can a lot be learned, a lot be gained from inside knowledge into law enforcement itself, but even more than that, and I found this with every Citizens Academy that we've been part of, is the wonderful connections that we make with members of our community. Every class, every time we have a session from week to week, valuable conversations always ensue. We folks in the community get to know us as individuals, we get to know them, vice versa. Great questions are asked. We have a Q&A session all throughout the each of the sessions, And again, my biggest takeaway are the relationships that we're able to establish with members of the community.
Now, is
So I look forward to
there
that
an
as
age
well.
limit?
Not a limit. Now, the starting age is 18, so anybody over the age of 18 and beyond. So whoever is interested. For those under 18, historically we've had a youth academy as well for middle school and high school age students. That's been on pause, unfortunately, for the last few years because of other circumstances. We look forward to getting back into that as well.
Well, COVID had a big impact on it.
It did, unfortunately.
So you can be a high school kid and 18 years old?
Yes, yes.
And the college kids are?
College kids are very much welcome to attend. Again, anybody over the age of 18, we welcome them with open arms. We'd love to have them be a part of this valuable program.
Great.
A couple other things. Work continues on maintaining our CLIA accreditation. This is an ongoing process. January alone has 10 time-sensitive activities that must be filed with CLIA. Many of these activities include analytical reports that I will include in next month's year-end report for the police department that I'll deliver to council. We also file our statistical report for SIMMERS. If you recall, SIMMERS is a two-phase report, the first part being the statistical report that coincides with the calendar year. That's why it's filed in January. Then the agency status report will be filed just short of our annual assessment, which will occur in August this summer. And then finally, planning continues for WAMSB as we meet with not only other public safety agencies, but WAMSB officials as well, other community groups. Planning continues several meetings a month as we work to solidify the IEPs and prepare for our security response to this event. And Mayor, that's all I have unless there's questions.
Any questions or comments for Chief?
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good job, sir.
Great job.
Sir,
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Mr. O'Neill has signaled that he would like to wait until our executive session. I hope that you've seen that on the agenda. There's some property matters that we need to discuss this evening, so we will be exiting into executive session at the conclusion of H. Okay. Correspondence and information and schedule for Buckhannon Police Department Citizens Police Academy, as Matt just alluded to. We've got the Charles Gibson Library's Director Report for January 23. We've got a news article. I'm sure everyone has seen by this point, Upshur County Commission acquired 10 parcels of property along Chancery Street and Route 20, just behind the courthouse. Then we've got Parks and Recreation Advisory Board will be meeting at 6 p.m. That is next January 25th. That's next week. And then finally, as Andy alluded to, we've got the Certified Public Accountant David Howell engagement letter for our audit, and we are used to David Howell. He does a great job for us. Under the consent agenda, we have E2 and E3. I'd like to ask for your approval of the building, and wiring permits, as well as the payment of all of our bills. Could I have a motion to that effect?
Second?
Motion by Mr. Sanders, a second by Mr. Rigger. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign opposed? Motion carries. All right, we are down to council comments and announcements because we are through all of our strategic issues for discussion and or vote, and we will begin with Mrs. Bucklew to the left.
I'm just glad to be part of everything positive going on in Buckhannon. Thrilled.
Amen. Appreciate that. Dave McCauley.
Just a couple of things. Under correspondence and information, we've known for a few weeks now about the county's acquisition of the property around the courthouse. Back in 2016, when the city collaborated with First Community Bank to establish Stump Lane, that alleyway, we had conversation with Mr. Evans at that point to open Stump Lane all the way to Chancery Street. And in the 11th hour, Jerry will remember, Mr. Evans decided he wasn't going to go forth with our understanding. Robbie, I would encourage you to reach out to our colleagues at the County Commission to see what their plans are going to be. And it makes sense for Stump Lane to be open to Chancery Street for both the county employees, especially cruisers getting in and out of that area and the whole bit. But maybe we could revisit what we had planned to do before the county came to be the owner.
Well, that that part was that was going to be a part of the executive session that I wanted to discuss with you all tonight.
Never mind.
Pertinent to property matters.
As Emily Latilla used to say on Saturday Night Live, never mind. The only
That's
other,
part of it, not all of it. That's part of it.
the only other thing I would observe is this past week we lost Dr. Lynn Rupp, and we all know her lesser half, Dr. Rob Rupp, much better. But Lynn worked to help pass school levies. She was the silent partner with Rob on so much of what we have done with Stockard. So we're going to miss Lynn, and of course, all of our hearts go out to the Rupp family.
Thanks, Dave.
That's all I have.
Jack?
Just the State of the City address, Mr. Mayor, I thought it was very well done.
Thank you, sir.
And you're to be commended. We do have wonderful city employees, and Chief Gregory, you just always amaze me. You do such a stellar job, and you and Chief Kimball, and can't say enough good things about you. And wish everybody a happy New Year. It might be a little late, but we're still in January. So that's about all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Thomas?
Well, I echo what everybody said already, and enjoyed the report, Mayor, from you earlier. And I do have one personal announcement. I have 9 grandchildren now.
Ooh.
But I have another one on the way.
Is
So
like 10?
I'm going to be double
Cheaper by the dozen.
Yeah. I may have to get a job someday, I don't know. But my oldest daughter, Casey, she's just told me last night that she's expecting September the 6th, evidently. And so Huddy, her son, Hudson, is going to have a playmate pretty soon. So,
Thanks, Dave.
God bless all of you, and be safe.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
CJ?
So as we've heard, you know, through the announcements and all the things that are going on around here, and the developments that are happening and the projects, you know, we just need to keep doing the things in the present that'll make ourselves successful 5 years from now. So look forward, plan, and then take the steps and put the things in place today that will, you know, yield the results down the road. So I think we've been doing that here in the community for 15 or 20 years or more, you know, and that's, it's delayed gratification, you know, it's an investment and patience. But, you know, I think we've made a lot of headway, and I congratulate the community for getting all those things done.
Thanks, CJ. Mr. Sanders?
Yes, sir. Fun story tonight. This past weekend I went to New Orleans and spent a few days attending the Miss Universe pageant. I believe it was 83 countries were represented from around the world. Miss USA came out the victor. She is the winner. She's the new Miss Universe. But the fun, really fun aspect, I looked down at the aisle and saw a woman I recognized by the name of Margaret Gardner from South Africa, who was Miss Universe 1978. And one of the very first appearances this woman made as Miss Universe 1978 was to be in the Grand Feature Parade of the West Virginia Strawberry Festival. So I took a little stroll down the aisle and introduced myself and said, I'm not sure if you remember me, but in 1978, when you won, you came to West Virginia. And she said, to visit the Strawberry Festival. Immediately, she didn't hesitate. She said, one of my first appearances, and I remember how delicious the strawberries were, but she looks magnificent. I know you're not supposed to tell a lady's age, but she's probably 63 now, and it looks phenomenal. I'll probably post a photo of her and I on my Facebook page in a day or two. But again, we make an impression on people.
Did you ask her back?
No, yes, I did, but we make an impression on people, and we sometimes then move on to the next subject and the next year and the next thing. But to run into somebody that you had an acquaintance with in 1978, run into them in 2022, and she still remembers her experience in Buckhannon, West Virginia, I think speaks a lot for our city, our town, as it was then and as it is today. And I just appreciated that moment, and appreciated the State of the City address today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
That was a nice story. We always like having connections drawn back to Buckhannon. And I think you're exactly right. We know it's a special place, and it's great that other people recognize that too. I have talked enough this evening, unless you want me to read it again, which I could do. But at this time, at 8:06, thank you everybody for a good meeting. I would ask that we adjourn into an executive session following about a 5-minute recess.
So moved.
All right, thank you everybody. Have a good
Thank you.
weekend.